Yamashita's gold, a legendary WWII treasure hidden in the Philippines, has sparked decades of mystery and modern-day hunts. Now, new evidence suggests the truth may finally be within reach. The legend of Yamashita's gold begins with one of World War II's most enigmatic military leaders, General Tomoyuki Yamashita of the Imperial Japanese Army. Nicknamed the Tiger of Malaya for his swift and brutal conquests in Southeast Asia, Yamashita led campaigns across countries like Malaysia, Singapore, Burma, and the Philippines. During these campaigns, Japanese forces reportedly looted an unimaginable fortune, tons of gold bars, rare gems, religious artifacts, and other treasures, seized from banks, temples, museums, and the homes of wealthy elites in the occupied territories. This accumulation of war plunder became known as part of the so-called Golden Lily operation, allegedly overseen by members of the Japanese imperial family and high-ranking military officials, including Prince Yasuhito Chichibu. As Japan's dominance crumbled in the later years of the war, Allied forces pushed back with full force, and the Philippines became a last strategic stopover before reaching Japan itself. Facing imminent defeat, Yamashita is said to have ordered the treasure, estimated by some at over $100 billion in today's value, to be hidden deep within the rugged mountains, caves, and tunnel networks of Luzon, especially in regions such as Nueva Ecija, Baguio, and the Cordilleras. Engineers, slaves, and even POWs were allegedly forced to construct elaborate, trap-ridden vaults designed to bury the loot forever, or at least until Japan could return for it. Some accounts claim the workers were sealed inside the tombs along with the gold to protect the secrets. When Yamashita was captured by American forces and tried for war crimes in 1945, he was tight-lipped about the gold's existence. He was executed in 1946, reportedly without ever revealing the precise locations of the hidden treasure. Yet whispers of buried wartime riches lived on. Over the decades, treasure hunters, fortune seekers, and conspiracy theorists have been drawn to the Philippines, digging in jungles and mountains in search of proof. Though many have found tantalizing clues, maps, tunnel systems, engraved markers, and even gold bars, the full extent of Yamashita's gold remains unconfirmed. Despite the skepticism of mainstream historians, the legend refuses to die. It has become woven into Filipino folklore and global mystery culture, driven by the hope that somewhere beneath the tropical soil lies a fortune that could rewrite both personal fortunes and historical narratives. The enduring legend of Yamashita's gold is not built on fantasy alone. It is anchored by a mix of eyewitness accounts, legal records, and shadowy intelligence documents that have stirred belief and debate for decades. In the immediate aftermath of World War II, dozens of Filipino villagers came forward with testimonies detailing unusual Japanese military behavior in the final months of occupation. They spoke of heavily guarded Japanese convoys moving through mountainous regions, often at night, hauling mysterious crates. Others remembered the forced labor of prisoners and locals being used to dig deep tunnels or cavern systems, often under brutal conditions. In many of these stories, the workers were never seen again, leading to chilling rumors that they were executed and entombed with the treasure to protect its secrecy. One of the most powerful pieces of circumstantial evidence comes from the Rogelio Roxas case, which made international headlines. Roxas, an amateur Filipino treasure hunter, alleged in the 1970s that he had uncovered a massive golden Buddha, hollow and filled with gold bars, hidden in a tunnel system near Baguio City. He claimed the discovery was the tip of the iceberg, and he had located maps and markers believed to be left behind by Japanese engineers. But soon after announcing his find, Roxas was allegedly beaten, imprisoned, and the treasure confiscated by agents linked to then-President Ferdinand Marcos, who many believe had been quietly hunting the treasure for years. Though Roxas died under suspicious circumstances, his story lived on. In 1996, a U.S. court awarded his estate nearly $40 billion in damages, later reduced and disputed, citing credible evidence that his claims had merit, further solidifying the legend's plausibility. Another layer of evidence comes from declassified intelligence records from the Office of Strategic Services, OSS, and later the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. Some documents and memoirs from former operatives suggest that U.S. military forces did, in fact, uncover parts of the treasure. According to these theories, the treasure was quietly recovered and never reported, used instead to fund secret cold war missions, anti-communist regimes, and black ops operations without congressional oversight. This notion has led to widespread belief in the existence of a covert fund, sometimes referred to as the Black Eagle Trust or Yamashita's Gold Fund. Though lacking hard proof, these accounts offer intriguing circumstantial evidence and a potential explanation for why official records remain silent. Further support comes from Japanese veterans and engineers who, in their old age, began revealing their roles in wartime treasure concealment. Some claim to have drawn maps, etched rock symbols as markers, or witnessed treasure being lowered into booby-trapped vaults. Several of these maps have surfaced over the years, passed down as family heirlooms or sold on the black market. While some were dismissed as fakes, others led to partial digs and the recovery of metallic artifacts, rusted weapons, or cryptic engravings, deepening the mystery. In addition to physical testimonies, treasure hunters have discovered symbolic markers consistent with Japanese wartime engineering, triangular rock formations, carved arrows, and codes believed to indicate tunnel entrances or gold depositories. Some even point to the presence of Shinto religious artifacts at these sites, believed to spiritually seal the treasure. Overall, this patchwork of evidence, while not definitively conclusive, is compelling. The convergence of wartime testimonies, underground intelligence records, government seizures, and recurring geographical leads across Luzon suggests a historical truth behind the legend. Whether the full treasure is still buried or partially recovered and hidden by global powers remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. In the decades following World War II, the mystery of Yamashita's gold has ignited an international obsession, drawing modern-day treasure hunters, documentary filmmakers, private contractors, and even government officials into a relentless hunt across the Philippines. The rugged terrain of Luzon, particularly in provinces like Nueva Ecija, Baguio, and Ilocos Norte, has become the epicenter of this high-stakes search. From amateur diggers to organized expeditions backed by millions of dollars, the quest has evolved far beyond rumor into a technologically advanced effort to locate what many believe is one of the largest hidden fortunes in history. Modern investigations are now driven by sophisticated equipment and advanced science. Ground-penetrating radar, GPR, seismic scanners, magnetometers, LiDAR mapping, and drone surveillance have replaced the crude digging tools of the past. These technologies help detect underground anomalies, large voids, metallic objects, and man-made structures, which investigators believe could be sealed vaults or collapsed tunnel systems left by Japanese engineers. Numerous teams have reported promising discoveries: sealed shafts, concrete walls deep underground, and unusual magnetic fields, all of which suggest artificial construction. Still, access remains difficult due to unstable geology, flooding, or elaborate booby traps rumored to have been installed by the Japanese to prevent retrieval. One of the most visible modern efforts was showcased in the History Channel's documentary series, Lost Gold of WWII, which brought renewed global attention to the legend. The show followed an international team of treasure hunters as they explored key sites in Luzon using historical maps, local testimonies, and cutting-edge technology. Their efforts led to the discovery of underground tunnels, encrypted symbols, carved into stones, and a possible entrance to a long-lost burial chamber. While the series did not confirm the existence of Yamashita's gold, it documented significant physical evidence that lent new credibility to the decades-old claims and revived public fascination. Despite technological advancements, the search faces serious legal and logistical barriers. Many treasure sites are located on private land, requiring permissions from landowners or legal rights from the government. Philippine laws also mandate that any discovered treasure must be reported and shared with the state, deterring some from publicly acknowledging their finds. Moreover, claims of government interference, corruption, and hidden agendas have plagued some expeditions. There are accusations that certain officials deliberately obstruct digs or quietly reclaim any discovered artifacts to prevent public knowledge, or for their own benefit. Another growing issue is the impact on local communities. Many regions where digging takes place are small, rural areas where rumors of buried gold create tension among residents, land disputes, and even violence. Some villagers have been injured or killed in amateur excavation collapses, while others fall victim to scammers peddling fake maps or divining rods promising gold. Nonetheless, the dream of finding Yamashita's gold remains so powerful that it continues to drive individuals, often at great personal risk, into forests, hillsides, and mountains in hopes of a life-changing discovery. As modern efforts push forward, combining old war secrets with cutting-edge tools, the search for Yamashita's gold has transformed into a real-life Indiana Jones adventure, one that blends history, mystery, technology, and treasure into one of the world's most captivating and controversial hunts. Whether the next dig will finally strike gold or uncover another dead end remains uncertain, but the determination of modern explorers shows no sign of fading. As the legend of Yamashita's gold has gained credibility through testimonies and modern-day expeditions, it has inevitably collided with a complex web of legal and political challenges, both within the Philippines and on the international stage. The question of who truly owns the treasure has sparked fierce debate, lawsuits, diplomatic disputes, and even accusations of government cover-ups. At the heart of the legal struggle lies Philippine law. According to Presidential Decree No. 1726A, any treasure discovered within Philippine territory is considered state property unless a clear, lawful claim of ownership can be made. This decree was issued during the Marcos regime and has been used to justify the government's intervention, or outright seizure, of discovered artifacts and valuables. Under this law, treasure hunters must obtain formal permits to excavate, and if successful, a significant portion of the find is to be handed over to the government. However, many claim that this legal framework has discouraged transparency and pushed much of the treasure hunting activity into the shadows. As a result, many diggers operate illegally or keep their finds hidden to avoid confiscation or prosecution. One of the most infamous examples of legal conflict revolves around the Rogelio Roxas versus Ferdinand Marcos case. Roxas, who allegedly found a golden Buddha and gold bars in a tunnel system near Baguio, claimed that Marcos's agent seized his treasure by force. Though Roxas died under mysterious circumstances, his estate pursued legal action in the United States. In 1996, a Hawaii court ruled in favor of the Roxas estate, acknowledging the theft and awarding billions in damages. Although enforcement of that ruling remains murky and contested, it set a precedent that treasure could have been found and taken, and that individual finders might be entitled to restitution. Beyond individual claims, land rights have also created layers of conflict. Many of the alleged treasure sites are located on private property or in ancestral lands of indigenous communities. This has resulted in disputes between treasure hunters and landowners, with some local families refusing to allow excavation, fearing damage, bad luck, or exploitation. In other cases, property owners have demanded large shares of any recovered treasure or full control over the site. The lack of clear protocols and enforcement mechanisms often leads to legal standoffs, sabotage, or bribery. International claims add another layer of complexity. Some historians and legal experts argue that much of the gold looted by Japanese forces was originally stolen from countries like China, Burma, and Malaysia. These nations, or their descendants, could have legitimate claims to the treasure under international law. Additionally, Japan has never officially acknowledged the looting or concealment of war treasure, and post-war treaties did not address the issue of stolen valuables in detail. If any treasure were recovered and publicly acknowledged, it could trigger demands for wartime reparations and open old diplomatic wounds. Moral and ethical debates also rage over the nature of ownership. Is it right for a private individual or even a nation to claim treasure that was originally stolen during acts of wartime brutality? Should the loot be returned to its country of origin, or the descendants of the victims? Or has too much time passed, making repatriation practically impossible? These questions continue to haunt the narrative of Yamashita's gold. In essence, the search for the treasure is not just a physical endeavor, it is a legal minefield and a geopolitical puzzle. Any significant discovery will likely trigger a cascade of lawsuits, government involvement, and international scrutiny. The fear of such complications may even be one reason why, if the treasure has already been partially found, those involved have chosen to remain silent. Until clear international frameworks are established or credible claims are adjudicated, Yamashita's gold remains not only a mystery of war, but a battle of ownership, legality, and historical justice. Beyond treasure maps and secret tunnels, the legend of Yamashita's gold has taken deep root in the cultural consciousness of the Philippines and captivated the global imagination. It is more than just a hunt for hidden wealth. It is a story that reflects the trauma of war, the resilience of a nation, and the enduring power of myth. Over the decades, the tale has evolved into a symbol of mystery, hope, and unresolved history, passed down through generations as both folklore and cautionary tale. In the Philippines, stories of Yamashita's gold are woven into local lore, particularly in regions where the Japanese army was most active. Elders recount memories of strange wartime activities, secret digging at night, truckloads of crates under guard, or even eerie disappearances of villagers involved in forced labor. Children grow up hearing tales of cursed tunnels, and families in rural Luzon still believe that gold lies buried beneath their fields. These stories serve not only as entertainment, but also as expressions of collective memory, deeply tied to the brutal Japanese occupation, which left scars that have not fully healed. For many Filipinos, the legend offers a kind of psychological compensation for the suffering endured during World War II. The idea that something valuable, stolen by foreign oppressors, might still be hidden in Philippine soil resonates deeply. It symbolizes potential justice or redemption, a belief that someday the nation or a deserving local hero might uncover this treasure and use it to lift communities out of poverty. This belief fuels countless amateur expeditions and gives rise to local rituals, like seeking the blessing of elders or conducting spiritual ceremonies before a dig. Internationally, the story has taken on legendary status, inspiring documentaries, books, and fictional works. Films have dramatized treasure hunts through booby-trapped caves and narrow escapes from collapsing tunnels, while books and YouTube channels analyze old maps, military archives, and decoded symbols in obsessive detail. Shows like History Channel's Lost Gold of WWII have brought the legend into the mainstream, introducing new audiences to the intrigue and speculation surrounding Yamashita's supposed hidden fortune. The legend has also become a rich source for conspiracy theorists, particularly those who believe that the gold was found and secretly used by global intelligence networks or powerful elites. Some claim it was used to fund covert Cold War operations, while others believe it continues to circulate through hidden financial systems. Whether plausible or not, such theories highlight how the treasure has transformed from a historical curiosity into a symbol of shadowy global forces and unseen influence. At a national level, Yamashita's gold is tied to conversations about identity and justice. It forces a reflection on the country's colonial history, wartime suffering, and ongoing struggles with poverty and corruption. If such treasure truly exists, its very presence raises difficult questions. Why hasn't it been found? Who is hiding it? And if it is found, who truly deserves it? The state, the landowners, the victims of war, or the treasure hunters who risked everything? In the end, Yamashita's gold is more than just a legend about buried treasure. It is a cultural phenomenon, a historical mirror, and a modern myth. It lives in whispered stories, courtroom battles, documentary cliffhangers, and the quiet hope that maybe, just maybe, something priceless lies beneath the earth, waiting to be discovered, not only in gold, but in truth, memory, and justice. In recent years, the legend of Yamashita's gold has shifted from distant folklore to an increasingly tangible reality, thanks to a series of compelling discoveries and breakthroughs that suggest treasure hunters may be closer than ever to unearthing the truth. Armed with cutting-edge technology, historical archives, and local testimonies, modern expeditions have uncovered powerful clues, some of which have never before been made public. Each find edges the story further away from myth and closer to historical confirmation. One of the most significant developments has come from the use of ground-penetrating radar, GPR, and deep Earth scanning technologies, which have identified unusual underground voids and metallic signatures in key regions of Luzon. In particular, areas like Nueva Ecija and the mountains near Baguio have yielded promising results. These scans have revealed geometric anomalies, sealed chambers, and collapsed tunnels, consistent with the methods Japanese military engineers were believed to have used during their last days in the Philippines. Some chambers are buried beneath more than 30 feet of rock and soil, suggesting intentional concealment. Expeditions have also uncovered physical markers and coded symbols engraved into stone, triangles, arrows, and cryptic scripts that match previously discovered Japanese wartime maps. One such map, uncovered from the estate of a former imperial officer, led investigators to a hillside location where they found a sealed concrete vault buried beneath debris. Though access to the vault was delayed due to legal restrictions and the fear of explosive booby traps, the find rekindled global interest in the story. Further, these clues have been cross-referenced with declassified Japanese military documents, giving them added credibility. The renewed momentum was further amplified by revelations made during the filming of History Channel's Lost Gold of WWII. In the show's later episodes, investigators explored a cave system previously inaccessible due to flooding and instability. With new equipment, they found a blocked tunnel containing what appeared to be a metal object of significant size embedded within a sealed wall, possibly a container or chest. Though excavation was not completed on camera, the emotional reactions of the team and independent analysis of the data suggested they had stumbled upon something extraordinary. In addition, new testimonies from elderly locals and descendants of wartime informants have brought previously unknown sites into focus. One man, the son of a wartime translator who worked under Japanese command, revealed a long-hidden family map and led a team to a remote forest location. There, partial digging uncovered remnants of rusted steel crates and a fragment of what appeared to be gold foil, now under forensic analysis. While it is yet to be proven as part of Yamashita's hoard, the consistency with other known treasure hunting leads adds to the growing momentum. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, rumors circulate that private recoveries may have already occurred, but been kept secret due to fear of government intervention or disputes over ownership. Some insiders claim that elite circles in both the Philippines and abroad have already benefited from undisclosed discoveries. These unverified reports add to the sense that the treasure may not only be real, but partially found. With each new discovery, the treasure's legend inches toward reality. For the first time in decades, there is measurable optimism among professional treasure hunters and historians that a major breakthrough may be imminent. Whether through the opening of a sealed tunnel, the decryption of a final map, or the testimony of a dying witness, the hunt for Yamashita's gold appears to be in its most promising phase since World War II ended. As the world watches, one question remains. Are we truly one step away from uncovering one of the greatest lost treasures of modern history?